Hello and welcome to 2020 Design Live Advanced Workshop. My name is Katia Lalanne and I've been working for 2020 since 2006 as a training specialist. What we're going to cover together today, I will show you how to create a shower niche. Keep in mind guys, if you have any question during the session, you can always ask your question inside the chat so we'll be able to answer you. For those already wondering, this rendering that you see here have been created with 2020 Design, the latest version, Design Live D12.5. And for those that are not aware, in 12.5, the lights inside the cloud is now having the capacity of casting light, which is very cool. Let's go inside the software itself. As you can see, this is the layout that we have, and right now we have 3 niches above the bathroom, above the bath, sorry. And if I go inside the shower, we have a 4th one where we have some bottles waiting for us. So let's close this and starts from the beginning. So we'll delete on purpose the shower niche so I can show you how to do it. The first step is to create a hole. But just before you create a hole, something that I recommend is to apply the texture that you need on the wall itself. So when you will create the cutout, it will wrap the texture inside the hole. So like this, you will not have to add several pieces of surfaces to get the same goal. So here's a trick if you have multiple walls to cover at the same time. First, double click on a wall, any wall will do. Second, using the Control key on your keyboard, press it down and left click on the other walls that you would like to have. Right now, I have 3 walls selected, and you can see on the screen with the green line which wall I have selected. And by doing this, I will be able to go to Material and apply the texture that I need. You can see that the texture that I needed, it's already applied because I did that priorly. But if I wanted to change it, or if you wanted to do it on your own project, you would click on the 3 dots over here. If the texture is from the common database, you will be inside the catalog texture, the common database, and pick up the texture of your liking. If you have selected a texture from your own provider, you can use the user texture library and add your own custom texture. Inside the project, because I already add the texture, I can find that texture inside the list, and this one over here, this is the tile that I have applied on my walls. I will click OK again, and now I will show you how to create a shower niche. The first step is to create the hole, basically the hole that you need. And as you can see, this wall over here is thicker. If I want a niche more deep, it will be done by making the wall thicker. Automatically, the rectangle cutout that you will add will mimic the depth of your wall. So there's nothing special to do about it. Let me go inside Room Layout, Opening and Obstacles, and double click on Wall Cutout Pass-Through. Once I double click, I have a few choices I can pick up. The most popular is the rectangular cutout. I will double click on it. Now my cursor is loaded with one cutout. I will bring it inside the placement zone. I will left click, and the cutout requires 2 answers. The first answer is how high from the floor the cutout will be. So it will start from the bottom of the floor until the bottom of the cutout itself. For this particular wall, I want a cutout that will be 48 inches from the floor. The height is the height of the cutout itself, basically the hole that we're going to create. 12 for this particular project is what we need, but it could be possible in your own projects you need to change that height. I will click OK, And now I have a tiny hole following this wall. I will leave the mouse alone and press Tab so we have the blue next to the width. Like this, I will be able to say how long my cutout will be. The one for this particular project is 55 inches. So I key punch 55 and I press Tab. Like this, I can see the whole overall size of my cutout before the final tuning. And because it's an object without any collision, that's why I can slide it outside of the wall. If you want to be super precise, you can use wall left or wall right and key punch the value that you need. If you wanted to center it, you can simply press Enter. Of course, it's not center yet, but use the function center to center it towards the wall. So right now, opening an obstacle is asking me if I want some more. For now, we're good. So we're going to click Close. And because I want to center it towards this wall, I will right click on the cutout, choose Center, and double click inside the placement zone of that wall. Double click. Now I have my cutout perfectly placed. Let me go inside the shower and I will show you how the texture is wrapping up around. Basically, what we have here, we have the cutout, we have the hole, and the thickness of that hole is the thickness of the wall, and the default is 4.5. So that's what I meant by wrapping around. And that means if I needed that shower to be deeper, so basically that hole to be deeper, I need to modify the thickness of that particular wall. It will look a little bit like this one. It look a little bit silly, but at least in your rendering, it will be accurate. Now, the next step to create the shower is to choose the item to be able to block the path in the back, so it gives the illusion that we have a backsplash or anything else in the back of our niche. We'll go back inside the room layout. We'll select opening and obstacles. And inside opening and obstacles, this time I will go inside the tall obstacle. So obstacles, double click, and I will pick up the tall obstacle. Why this one? Because by default, it will have the same height as your ceiling. Very practical. So I double click on tall obstacle, bring the cursor inside the placement zone. I cannot place it outside of a placement zone. If you try, you will have a friendly message say, I cannot be placed here. So make sure, even if it goes outside, you choose a placement zone. Left click. Now I have a tiny obstacle. I can try to key punch the size that I need, but what I prefer to do is to press Enter. So it adds the object. Of course, the software will ask me, do I want some more? I'm good for now. So let's close this window and let me zoom in so you guys can see better. Perfect. The green dots, when you see an object with green dots, that means it's squishable. So if you grab any of the dots, I can squish it to make it bigger. Now I can drag it outside the software, not the software, sorry, but outside of the wall. And let me stretch it. I like to have it a little bit longer than the hole itself. That's a personal choice. So like this, it will not flicker in the rendering. Also, to avoid any issues, the thickness that you should pick up for, speaking of flicker in the rendering, the thickness should be 3/4 inch, so 0.75. So if you'd like to be precise, something I would do, I would key punch 57 because my hole is 55, an inch overhang on each side. Normally it's more than enough. It's a little bit more than enough, but you get the idea. So you can place it, squish it as you please. But if you like to be precise and have precise measurement, the depth is need to be 3/4 of an inch. So like this, it will not flicker in the rendering. Also, by having thin enough, it will not be a big block on your plan when you try to print it. So it will be less catchy for the eye. Before I do this, I will add the texture of what I would like to see. I will click on variables, click on the gray color, and I will add the texture that I need. The texture is already inside the project because I added the backsplash for these guys for the one on the bathroom, and it will be the same one inside the shower. So I just have to go in current design. In your own project, remember you may need to go to catalog texture or user texture library if you're bringing a new texture from outside 2020. Once you have selected your texture, you click OK. I click OK. And let me just finalize placing this little guy so we get exactly what we need. And here you go. Perfect. Now, if I go back inside the perspective and let me go back to the shower. Here you go, shower, here we come. Perfect. Here's the thing that you will notice. You will see that the texture doesn't line up like it did for the one above the bathroom, and that's normal. Something that a lot of people is not aware, there's a lot of object inside the 2020 that have a random anchor point. What I mean by that, when you apply a texture, it will pick up a place on that object randomly. So if you're using wood, the knot will not be exactly at the same place. But in this particular situation, this is not what I need. For cabinetry, this is perfect because we don't want to have the same knot showing up on the same place all the time. But in this case, when we want the tiling to adjust in a certain order, we need to find an object that have a predetermined anchor point. So when we apply it, it will look okay. So let me close this and let me delete the obstacle, because right now, unfortunately, for the type of preview I want, it will not be the one that I need. So obstacle have a random anchor point. So that means if you don't mind how the tiling inside looks up, it's perfect. But if you need to be precise, what you will have to do, I just deleted my obstacle, you will have to turn to the cloud. Inside the cloud, within the 2020 decorative item, if you go inside the decorative items, let me click on the little triangle over here, within the artwork. So basically these guys have a static anchor point. Before you pick up any artwork that you see, please keep in mind that certain artwork have a predetermined size. So you need to find one that will be big enough or adjustable. The one that I use in this particular project, let me show it for you, is this little guy over here. It's the artwork number 6. So I will drag it inside my placement zone, release the mouse, and now I have my artwork like right here. I will right click to bring it outside. The reason why I drag first in the placement zone and then bringing it outside is to make sure that the part that got the artwork is facing my inside the room. So that's the reason why I did that. And as you can see, it's a little bit small. So I will right click, go inside the attributes, and I will make it a little bit bigger. So 57 that's a good size because I want about 1 inch on each side, so it will be not flickering in the rendering. The depth 1316, fair enough. I don't have to do anything special. I will add the texture, so we'll go into the variable. The crazy color over here, that's basically the color of that artwork. I will click on it, go get my texture, select it, click OK, and I will click OK again. I will right click on my artwork, choose center, and center it towards my my cutout. So like this, everything is perfect. By the way, that artwork, this one I like it because I can adjust the size. Some of them are having a static size, so be careful. If you're having the live version, if you click, it will select it and make it one of your favorites. So the next time you're looking for it, you can click on the stars and your favorite will show up right here. So like this, you can save a lot of time. That said, let me show you the result of adding the proper object beneath the cutouts. You will save a lot of time. So let me go inside, turn, and wait for a second. We'll have the refresh. I probably didn't push it inside, glued to the wall properly, so that's why I have a little white color. So I will verify that. So let me minimize this, zoom in. Are you glued? Ah, I knew it. So let me come here, right click, choose in out. Of course, because it doesn't have any collision, it's a little bit more tweaky, but you can make it happen. There you go, perfect. It's a little bit too inside, of course. And because I'm presenting my screen, the software is slightly slower, so I apologize for that. Left click. There you go. And now if I come back to my rendering, this is what I wanted to show you. So basically, when it's glued properly with the wall, it will show the proper color and it will be perfect to get your texture. So basically, once you know that you have a static anchor point, for those that wants the texture to line up exactly where they want, you can save a lot of time. So I know my time is now up. The last thing I want to do, just for answering a few questions, right now, the thing I want to mention, for those wondering, the ceiling that I have at the moment that is made of wood, it's a surface. A surface, since it got the same texture beneath and above, I just created my surface on the floor, applied a texture that I wanted, and raise that texture so it touched the ceiling. So that's how I was able to create the illusion that the inside of the shower is made of another material. So that's it for me for today. I wish you an awesome day, and hopefully I will see you in one of my class soon. Oh, I thought my time was up. I have a few more minutes, so let me take that opportunity to show you one more thing. So here's the thing. If I create an elevation where the bath is, normally when you select an object, I just click on the color bath. You can copy that guy to a certain distance with the wheel in the copy mode. So this is something that we can do, and that's the trick to get the spotlights exactly where you want it inside a room. That said, if I click on the cutout, you will see that I don't see it inside the placement. So this little guy is the part of the same family as windows and doors. So unfortunately, I'm not able to use that technique to place these guys in the same distance. I can use copy paste, but I will still have to move it and adjust it to the proper height and placement. That said, for this particular project, or if you have something similar to do, what we will recommend is to add it one by one like this, because when you are placing it, you're asked where you want it. That will bring you more control of where those cutouts will be. So in this particular situation, that is what I would recommend if you have a similar layout to need to do. Since I have a few more moments, let me come back to the picture that I showed you in the beginning. Just to make sure you understand, this rendering that you see there have nothing special added. So I have not tweaked anything. And just to show you how far, if I go back into the perspective, I haven't used the settings. This is something that you can use, but this particular project was good enough what it was looking without any special tweaking. So if I was not satisfied, or if for your taste, you think it should be brighter or any other tweaking, you can still adjust the project. Something I want to mention, inside the 12.5, you can now save your favorite settings. So like this, if you have a setting that you like and you want to use it regularly, you can save it and make it part of your arsenal of quick access to get exactly the rendering you're looking for. So this is really cool. Let me come back to the rendering. Something I want to point out. I know at the beginning I spoke about custom texture. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to go into detail on what is the best texture to look for, how to bring it inside the software. However, if you're interested into learning that, this is one of the topics we cover during our classes, the advanced class. So if you are interested to go deeper, how to get rendering to have that kind of pizzazz, this is the kind of tricks we show. We show how to play with the lights. We show how to tweak like the candles. It's not the original intensity. I played with the intensity of the candles to make them more realistic. Same thing with the surface. I show you briefly how I could elevate the surface to mimic a different texture material on the ceiling. In the advanced class, we show you a trick on how to create a surface around the window so the window is not condemned. So this is the kind of things we cover into class. Same thing for saving views to go faster when you need to do tweaking, going back and forth. This is all tricks that can accelerate your process of creating rendering faster and better. If you're interested into the class, let me show you something. If you're interested into our classes, this website that you see, the link that you see on screen, the 2020spaces.com/training/2020design, this is where you will be able to see all the types of training that we offer. We have a good team of trainers, and I'm part of that team, and we do online, we do in person, and we also do custom. So if you're looking for something for your team, we can organize a specific training exactly fit for your needs. This is very awesome. Now my time is truly up, and I wish you an awesome day. And like I mentioned before, I hope to see you in class soon. Have a great day, guys.